The first time I actually stayed consistent, I didn't try harder. I tried differently. The first time I stayed consistent for more than 3 weeks, I was in the Philippines. It was mid COVID, we were on lockdown. I couldn't go anywhere, well, anywhere much. And I was just sick and tired of my life. I was not necessarily of the lockdown situation, but of my inconsistencies, my starting and stopping, my relationship with God fluctuating. And I made a pact with God. I made a covenant with Him, and I said, Lord, during these next, I did it 21 days. I said, during these 21 days, I'm going to fast. I fasted for some days. I had set days, set times in the day for prayer. So it was 6 in the morning, 10 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 6 in the afternoon, and 10 at night. I had set times for prayer. And during those times, I would also read either out of the Bible or complementary books as well, to just, since, we didn't have classes. I didn't have classes at that time. So only thing I had is free time. So I was like, it's now or never. So I'm going to take this time and actually spend it working on my relationship with God. And I did. I wrote the covenant. I put out the terms, and I said, "This is what I promise I'm going to do." And since I made a promise to God, listen, I didn't dare break it. So first, I sat in who my identity is, who I am. I am His child. I'm the one He has given power to become His child. I am His. So since I know, like I always say, breathe and remember whose you are, I had to first come to terms with whose I was. And after that, and making the covenant, listen, the first 2 days were hell because I was fasting. I was fasting for 2 days at a time. Just because food was one of the things I was struggling with. That was also one of the main reasons. So I was fasting from contemporary movies and so also for a set amount of hours during the day. And the first 2 days, like I said, were hard because I was hungry. I remember spitting. I remember spitting. I was like, this was struggle, but I would just pray. I pray and I overcame the cravings. And after the second day, it wasn't even hard anymore. So I would eat on Sunday, Wednesday, and Saturday, and fast on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And it was not hard at all. Because when you are determined, something that I've learned is every time when you give up on something, it's because you choose to do it. When I say, okay, I'm going to fast, I'm going to exercise every day, and when I don't, it's not because I was tired or it was too much. It's just because I decided I'm not going to do it anymore. Or I'm going to say, oh, I'm going on a sugar fast, and then I break it because I wanted the donuts or a muffin. It wasn't because it was so hard. I have noticed and I have observed that I consciously make the choice. You know what? I'm going to do it anyway. But since I made a covenant with God, I couldn't do that. And as time were progressing, as these days, as these weeks were progressing, it was so much easier. Listen, I didn't have nausea or overactive hunger. And the best part is, like, I would cook during my fasting days to eat on my eating days, and it was crazy. But for the first time in my life that I could remember in such a long time, I completely felt at peace with God. I felt that we were fine. I felt that everything was okay, that no matter if anything were to happen, I would be okay. If I were to die tomorrow, I would be okay because God and I were good. I felt so close to Him. I felt His presence. I could hear His voice. And then when situations popped up, because the situation was not ideal, it was lockdown, it was COVID, whenever anything would pop up, I would have no problem whatsoever adjusting. Like, I would have lost my temper before. Not at all. Like, things happened during that time. And they didn't affect me like they normally would because my relationship with God was completely different. Guys, we so underestimate the importance of our relationship with God, the how it affects every part of our life. So after the 3 weeks, I had a cheat day, right? A cheat day, so I was allowed sugar because I wasn't taking any sugar in those 3 days, 3 weeks, I mean. And man, I'm someone who loves pastries. I'm not really a drinks person, so like sugary drinks, no. And no alcohol. But I'm a pastry person. And on my cheat day, what did I get? I didn't even get any pastries, nothing. I got a milk tea, a plain milk tea, like not even a fancy one. And I got a 100% pineapple juice. And the crazy part is, guys, the story is too long. I wasn't planning on speaking too long, this long. But the crazy part is that after I did that, after I posted, what am I saying? After I actually had these things, and you would think they would not have a lot of sugar, I felt the sugar crash hitting me bad. The next day, as I was, because I started after these 3 weeks, I had that one cheat day, and after that, I went back to my fasting schedule. So the next day was going to be a fasting day. And I remember it was one of my praying sessions. And the thing is, you don't notice the fog until you've been out of it. When you've been clear, you only notice how muddled you were before. So now I am praying, and my mind is wandering everywhere. At some point, I remember, because I was on my knees, and at some point, I remember I was talking about 2 little boys running in a field. Listen, I had no clue who these little boys were. Why were they running in a field? I had no idea. But this is how much my mind wandered, and then I had to stop. I said, Lord, sorry, my mind is not clear. I need to take this moment, and afterwards, I'll pray again. So I took a nap for like 2 hours, and after that, I felt much better and I was able to pray. But just to show the difference in concentration, the difference in focus, like after not having had sugar for so long, and it wasn't even a lot of sugar, it messed me up completely. But if this is the fog you're constantly in, you won't notice the difference because you think this is normal. It's not normal. Only when you become healthy do you see the difference. But guys, I've been talking for too much, but the conclusion is that the importance is your identity. And when you know who you are, all the handles, all the decisions that you make, all the things that you do, they flow forward from that. So I wanted to encourage you all to first start with your identity. And you'll see all of that in my free training at becomesherinchrist.com. But don't forget to breathe and remember whose you are.